Okay, so we'll just start the meeting. So, hi everyone. Today, Shravanana is here to share his insights and his experience with Deliveroo. So, Anna, can you share your interview experience and your online test experience with us?
Yeah. All right, Shrita. Can you hear me and see me?
Yes, Anna, we hear you and we see you.
Yeah. All right. Uh, okay. Let me just get started with it. Yeah. So, good evening, everyone. Hope you are all doing good. I'm Shravan Sai Lanka, your senior from IT. I'm currently working as software engineer one at Deliveroo, and I'm here to share my interview experience, followed by few suggestions that will help you guys during your attempt to crack this. Right. Before jumping into that, how many of you guys are imagining yourself getting into this company, or how many of you guys imagining yourself giving an attempt or interview in this particular process? Can I see some reactions, or you use your chat window to react? Okay. Can you raise your hands also? Yeah, it would always be a great thing if you could see yourself in any of the future companies which you're working with. I really appreciate you to do such thinking, and yeah, work on it. All right. So yeah, let me just start with my experience. How exactly I have been through, and I think most of you all have already contacted me regarding this. And let me just share it with you all here. Yeah. So the first thing would be that, like, let me just complete talk about my whole experience, how it came to our college and all, and I'll also help you to understand how it will come now. Yeah. So when it came to us, it came around 15 at the similar time last year. So we had a short list of 70 students. That means 35, top 35 from IT, top 35 from CSC. So they took whole 70 students and conducted exam only to that 70 students based on that CGPA. So CSC's cutoff was around 8.9 and IT's cutoff was 8.5 last time. So the top 35 they took and put that exam. So Deliveroo is a food company, like just like Swiggy and Zomato. It's a UK based company where you'll work around multiple technologies, developing Android app, iOS, and website for it. So yeah, they came to India last year, and they established a center in Hyderabad, and they came to CBIT for the first time last year. So when they came, like when they have come to our college, they had minimal technical support to conduct all the interviews and minimum technical support to conduct the whole online assessment process. So we had an exam for the 70 students in the placements lab. So where they have sent us a Google Doc via Gmail for the registered students, wherein we logged in and like we checked those questions in a Google Doc, and then we had to use any online compiler or any of the compiler in our local system, and write. They asked us to write a code like obviously to there were three questions in it. We need to solve those three questions, explaining them how we are solving also. So this kind of online assessment was completely different compared to others. Yeah, please make a note of it for in our time. So the three questions were related. One was related to uh, like DP. One was related to small, like you have a k rotated array. You need to find the value in the, like, using binary search operations. And so one question was developing the entire data structure of heap or something. Yeah. So without using inbuilt libraries. So there was a constraint for us. In the job description they mentioned it was for C++ or Java developers, but their intention was to check without using inbuilt libraries, even in Python also. But yeah, it was there was a little bit confusion at that time, but then yeah, whoever has attempted in any language with all the proper documentation explaining both the time complexities and the documenting their code with the help of comments, how they have approached to the solution. So they finally shortlisted 15 students out of 70. That means like the 15 students have interview on the next day itself. So 15 students were invited to college, and it was happened in the placements office. So yeah, in the first, like during the interview, we had 3 rounds, like 2 to 3 rounds. So both of the first 2 rounds are technical. The third one could be HR or technical. So for the first 2 rounds, in the first round, it was purely technical. So I had an intention of like before the exam, before the interview, I had prepared for all the company related questions, all the HR questions and all. But I expected it to be little bit into the conversation of being non-technical also. But as soon as I entered the interview room, they directly asked me to solve the bottom view of a tree. So directly it was on my face asking all like the starting with this question. So it was a like I took little time to actually process the situation, and yeah, I started answering the solution from like I started discussing the solution with interviewer, taking all the constraints, discussing all the constraints and the exact question, how the output should be, how what is the input and all. So after that, so after solving that question, I was asked to solve a two-dimensional dynamic programming question. It was uh, like a picking up apples from bottom left to the top right. So you can either go in top direction, diagonal direction, and the right direction. So using the like if you use a brute force approach, it would take a 3 by like 3 power n time complexity or something, because if we assume that n by n it is a matrix sum. So discussing from the brute force to solving it using dynamic programming, like if you go in this approach, they would definitely understand that you are able to optimize things in a better way, and you are able to understand the question, even though if you know the answer, but make sure you discuss the solution with them, and it will really help you to communicate better and be confident in front of the interviewer. And the like the second interview round, like after solving these two questions, I was pushed to the second interview round. In the second interview round, I was asked a question related to graphs. That is pick a number of islands. I think it's a very basic question, but yeah, like I was not prepared of graphs at that particular point of time, and I was only focusing on DP and trees. So telling no to such basic questions will affect your interview, but like delivering it in a proper way will help you to make the interview completely into your comfort zone. So there are few concepts which are not familiar of, which you are ignored it during interview preparation. There will be such instances during your preparation, right? So if that situation comes in the interview, make sure you tell them that you are ready to learn that particular concept. I had few like, even though if I did not solve that problem, but I told them what BFS is, DFS is, and how exactly graph works and all the applications, and I asked the interviewer to help me come up with a solution on the fly. That means discussing then and there itself, even though I do not know any kind of approach or how to solve that problem. So discussions like this will really help you build that confidence between you and the interviewer. So there will be such instances where the questions will be out of your comfort zone, but make sure you convey them properly that you are ready to solve that problem with their help. All right. Second question was related to a string. It I was given a few parentheses, like open and close parentheses. It was a single type, open and close parentheses, and number of reversals you have to do such that you make it as a balanced string. Right. So this question was something like that. I had solved a problem discussing from brute force to the most optimal solution using stacks and queues. And yeah, followed by the next question was maximum product of a subarray. I think it is a pretty decent DP standard question. You can find that in lead code. And yeah, so while discussing this problem, you can come up with a very brute force solution, that is n cube to uh, to a one like to an one solution, right? Computing the like using DP, you can make the time complexity to one singular array, right? So like travel like building that entire matrix. So yeah, this was the third question. After this, this question entirely decided my interview standard with the interviewer, because I came from the very brute force solution, and the discussions went on, and I had come up with the final optimized solution. Like there, I optimized space, I optimized time during the discussion itself. So this discussion really helped us to build that confidence, even with the interviewer, like between us both. Followed by the next, like he asked me regarding which concepts you are familiar with your in your core subjects. I told you can obviously tell which you can tell your favorite subject and your subject of interest. I mentioned it was operating systems. So when I mentioned that, he came up with few questions related to operating systems, like scheduling, disk scheduling, and all the algorithms which we use, and other few concepts which we have already in our curriculum. Followed by few CN questions, the layers and all, and followed by few DBMS questions. He asked me regarding indexes. He asked me regarding normalization. Even if you don't know the concept, make sure you are confident in one thing. You would rather prefer to be tested in this particular thing rather than not knowing anything in the question which he asked. So make sure you drive your conversation to a level which which helps you both to converse and build that confidence. So after that, in the third round, the it was completely HR round for me, and there he asked me regarding one, like he saw my resume and asked my projects. So what is tell me anything about your projects, the best one which you chose it. I chose my project as one of the projects which was a game development project. I told them how I came up with this approach, and how exactly what were the challenges which I faced, and how exactly I developed and deployed it, and everything mattered a lot during the interview. So make sure you tell them that where you failed, and where you failed and bounce back with a better approach, or those kind of conversations will help them give you attention and listen to you how exactly you have faced any challenge in your projects and developed it. And also make sure you sound very technical during those interviews. Even it's a HR round, make sure if it is related to project or your internship experience, make sure you sound technical as well. When they ask you any general questions, it's obviously encouraged that you build that conversation a little more personal, but make sure you sound professional and technical as much as possible. Right. So this was my entire experience regarding Deliveroo, the interview process and all. And out of the 15, 5 were given the offer. And yeah, we are like I am currently working at Deliveroo right now. And this time, coming to your case, I think Deliveroo is coming on 5th or 6th. And it is trying to use a platform on HackerRank, like that is HackerRank, to conduct the exam. Yeah. And it this time it would be a completely different case. Yeah, the exam pattern might change or might not change, but the platform has changed. And I highly encourage that your genuinity in the online assessment will definitely help you to uh, appear in the uh, appear in the interview, right? If you solve the problems in your online assignment genuinely without any malpractice, it will give you a lot of boost in your uh, it will give you a lot of boost in your interviews, that you are very confident that you have qualified that first round. That means you will definitely have that edge over compared to others to appear in an interview, right? And it's not like most of the companies, if you solve that first round and try to manage the interviews, you will get an offer. It's not like that. I would definitely encourage and I would definitely suggest you to be very genuine in your online assessment, because that will definitely decide your uh, confidence in your interviews, right? So if you are going to get it, it would be through genuinity and your complete hard work. This is not like something you uh, you get it by luck. Definitely there would be a little percent of luck, but based on the questions which you get, based on the interview panel you are falling into, and the situation and all. But whatever is in your control, make sure it's genuine from your end, especially for this kind of company. Yeah. And followed by uh, few things which you have to consider is practice a lot related to DP, dynamic programming. If you haven't heard, Google it, and or else make sure you discuss with your peers. Dynamic programming is a mandatory, like is a definite question that they'll ask you even in the online assessment, or even because it is easy to code for for those who have know, for those who know. Yeah, and it's easy to explain also during an interview process. So all your problem solving abilities can be tested with the help of dynamic programming. Yeah, there are other data structures also and other algorithmic approaches also, but dynamic programming will help you uh, help the interview understand you in a better logical way. Yeah, followed by trees and graphs, and also strings. Yeah, there would be a there would be a case where you need to combine couple of data structures and try to solve a bring up a solution on the fly. So be flexible to that as well, like combining trees with linked list, or any linked list with some other data structure. This will definitely help you, like using hash and all in other data structures. This will definitely help them you to help them to understand you in a better way and differentiate you from the rest of the others. So make sure you are genuine, make sure you are uh, focusing on these data structures, make sure you are confident on how you are delivering that particular concept or any other particular problem. So it would be completely purely knowledge testing exam, followed by knowledge testing interview experience. So make sure, I'm pretty sure that most of you are well prepared, and or might be worrying with your preparation. It's completely fine. But be genuine in your attempt. It will definitely help your interview experience, and it will take it to a next level. I personally experienced it, and my friends also who have cleared this exam and who are working with me are have experienced this kind of scenario. So that is pretty much about it. I'm open to take any questions. It would be more specific if I answer your questions rather than speaking it in a generic way. So now I'm open to take questions in the chat.
If you have any queries, just ask away.
Is the job development related? Ryan, can you be more specific? I assume that is the job develop. Does it involve coding, like in working or during the interview? I assume that it is currently which I'm working on, right? Okay. Yeah, it would definitely involve a coding where you need to code, and you are here to test others' code. You are here to test your code, and you will be given an opportunity to review others' code, how they have written the particular logic, and everything will be done. You will be reviewing PRs, you will be merging them, you will be deploying them by your own hands. Yeah, that will be a great experience once you join the company. Any DBMS or SQL questions in your interview? In my interview, there were no questions related to DBMS or SQL, but I think it was asked for someone else. Like there will be instances where the interviewer is more familiar with DBMS or SQL, so they might test you uh, uh, with these skills, because it is a subject which is already there in our curriculum during PTech. So yeah, they'll definitely ask. Yeah, I would say, yeah, one more thing regarding the recession. I would like to share this. It was completely uh, like a bad instance now for other companies. Like they started with recession last year, taking away laying off few peoples in the company, and now they are stopping their intake from colleges. So it's badly affecting the 2024 batch. And also the thing which we are facing now is there is an increase in the number of participants applying for the particular company, because the strength has increased. And yeah, there are these two problems will definitely affect your placements now. But make sure whichever company you get, or even if you do not get, do not worry at this particular time. This is a time you might join your like you might have joined college with lot of aspirations or dream companies. So be flexible with it. Make sure you enter the industry with what all you have. Even though you could not enter the industry, or you could not secure any job finally, but make sure you build all the connections during with your friends, with your seniors. Especially, I would highly recommend you to maintain that connection with your seniors to get a referral in their companies. Yeah, so they would definitely help you getting a job, even off campus, or even through a referral. Yeah, yeah. Will recession is being affected now everywhere. For now, it is for the 2024 college students. That is you guys. Make sure you utilize this opportunity very well. And if you are like, if even there are instances that even if you work hard, you gave so many hours of practice and all, there are instances that you might end up not getting any job. Or be positive, do not take anything personally. It's a time where you have to focus on just practicing and building connections, or getting a job and entering into the corporate world. So yeah, and number of intakes for Deliveroo would definitely be not guessed actually. And Deliveroo is currently think expanding their wings in Hyderabad and Bangalore as well. There would be a plenty of opportunities based on your performance. So make sure you perform well in your interviews. There would be high probability that you might end up getting a job and working with us here. So make sure you utilize this opportunity carefully. The number of students doubled, and they will probably take the same number of students as last year. Could you give some generic advice, not just for delivery but other companies? Yes, I think I've spoke regarding that as well. Other companies are also reducing their count to 30 to 40%. That's a huge difference compared to our batch. It's not, it might not be 30%, sometimes it might be 10-20%, but yeah, depends on their because they are trying to reduce the cost with the effect of recession, but definitely there are opportunities. There are opportunities which will help you to get started with your career even outside college as well. But make sure you grab the opportunity that which you are getting right now. So that is the entire essence of it. You make sure you give, give your 100%, and yeah, do not expect any kind of outcomes. So make sure you give your 100%, and whatever might be the outcome, make sure you are ready for it. Yeah, there are companies which are delaying the joining time, and some are not giving offer letters. So how secured it is working with Deliveroo in future as well. So Deliveroo, it's rapidly developing in Hyderabad and Bangalore as well, in India especially. So I think there are opportunities in Deliveroo. There are companies which are delaying the joining date, but I don't think it will happen with Deliveroo. Sorry. Yeah. Any other questions?
Are there any other questions? So Anna, you mentioned that there will be coding in your as a part of your job. So it will be in Java or Python or
Whatever or whichever coding language or whichever you will be given, we have technologies like Ruby on Rails, Scala, and for the backend, and React. For Android development, we have Kotlin. For iOS, Swift, and for web development, React and all. So any of the technologies, they will train you initially with they will be training you all with all these technologies, and they make sure you are confident. If you are confident enough, only they'll put you and assign you tasks with respect to your teams. So do not worry about what will happen after joining the company. So make sure you utilize this opportunity to work to get placed in this or any other company which you dream.
okay, Anna.
Yeah. Do Sanket Kumar. Okay. Do we need to code during the interviews while explaining the approach? Yeah, the teaching or the way you explain your approach and the way you code, everything matters in your interview. It's always your comfort. If you are comfortable in explaining, writing your code and dictate, like talking to them and explaining them on the fly, that would be a really easy approach. But if you want to write your code and explain, walk them through your code step by step, that will also be a good alternative. And if you write the entire code and explain them directly the logic also, that would be a difficult, that would be difficult for them to understand. But make sure you convey the essence which you are telling, which are coding it. And also use proper names for variables. Do not use XY, do not use I, J and all. Those are not industry level standards. We are pretty much get you, like we got used to it, using it in our college times. But make sure if you name any variable or something, uh, it should convey that particular meaning for what you are taking that name. And make sure you write comments. Make sure you if it is a loop, make sure you walk them to the entire loop, the how the variables are changing in each loop. So these small things matter a lot in your interview. So make sure you work well with these. Explain your friends initially, explain any one of the peers which you have, and practice it. Practice the explaining part. It's not only like coding and your job is done. It's always how you communicate, how you make them explain as a uh, like if they do not have knowledge also, they would be able to understand after your explanation. So that would really help you guys to actually put yourself away from, differentiate yourself away from other students who are applying it. Yeah, would knowing Java or anything think give a benefit or language doesn't matter. Language matters when you are writing your code, when you are putting your pen on the paper or when you are typing it. Until then, language doesn't matter until you build that logic. So the discussion which you build with the interviewer, or even if you're solving in your online assessment, the logic doesn't require any language. After you get any language, like after you get this problem solution, you should be able to write that, convert your logic into code with any language. Language matters only when it's communicating and when you're writing the code. Yeah. Until that, knowing any language will, if it is a requirement by the company that hiring only Java developers or only Python developers, then it would be a requirement. But I don't think for a fresher they look into that. Yeah. Any other questions?
If there are no questions, then we'll wind up the meeting.
Utilize this opportunity. I don't like it would be a like if you guys understand how exactly things will work beforehand, that will help you really a lot in your interviews. So make sure you utilize it. Ask anything. It might be any silly questions. I'm here to answer. Do not worry. Yeah, do they focus on resume a lot? They focus on your resume even while shortlisting you after your online assessment. They cannot simply shortlist you based on your performance. There is a consideration for your resume as well. Before, like even if you write your code, even if you solve it properly and do not your your resume looks ugly, I think they don't want to take that risk of hiring you. It might depend on the that checking part, but make sure like resume plays a lot of importance for your HR round and for shortlisting as well. During your interview, if they're trying to test your DSA knowledge, I think at that time your resume is put aside. Apart from that, your resume will be mattering. Any other questions?
I guess no questions. So thanks, Anna, for sharing, for spending, like sparing your time with us and sharing your experiences with us. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Srita, for inviting.
Yes, and then I'll be winding up the meet.
Yeah, all right. All the very best, guys. I hope to see you guys working with me in future. Yeah, there is one question. Yeah, am I allowed to take Srita?
Yes, yes, Anna, you can take.
How can we start preparing for other companies if we haven't started preparing until now? So yeah, by now you are expected to have a decent, very decent basic knowledge of what exactly data structures and algorithms are, and any one programming language you prefer. So if you are done with these two things, make sure you spend your time solving problems on lead code via filters using concepts. So that will definitely help you a lot, and it would definitely take a 3 4 weeks of time to get yourself comfortable coding what you think and solve problems in a more optimized way. So yeah, you can start it right now as well, but make sure you take your graph linear way or in exponential way, however you feel. But make sure you are consistent enough with your preparation, and yeah, it's never too late, right? It's better late than never. So try solving as many problems as you can from now. It will definitely show that impact. Like you are, whenever any company comes, you might not know that you are ready for it, but give it an attempt. Make sure you are ready for it. And yeah, anytime the opportunity might knock your door, so be ready for it. That's it, Srita.
Yeah, okay, Anna. Once again, thank you. And I think there is another question.
How can we cover or be prepared with the core subjects? Yeah, 1 second. Yeah. There are few last minute notes. Let me share them in the chat. This is for OS. This is for DBMS. Similarly, you can search for other concepts in Geeks for Geeks. The last minute notes will help you a lot, because even the interviewer might sometimes browse through their internet to test your knowledge. So whenever they are trying to test your knowledge, they'll first go to these kind of links and get the gist out of it and ask you questions related to that. Make sure you cover all of them first and then go dig deep into the concepts. This will give you a quick preparation for the interview if you have no time, but make sure you go deep into it if you have time. That's it.
Are there any other doubts?
Okay to talk. Yes, it's very pretty much like in my third round, they asked me regarding the internship done at Oracle. So it really helped me a lot to explain them how exactly I worked with, and that knowledge helped them uh, like estimate me that I am industry standard were met even before joining the company. Like mentioning your previous internship experience will help you a lot in your HR rounds or in your interviews. Make sure you convey that you have done in the internship and you are waiting for other opportunities like the one which you're appearing now in the interview. So yeah, it was completely done. Make sure it's so even like yeah, make sure you convey what exactly, like even if you want to join, make sure you convey that you are more interested in this company. Yeah, that experience is bridging the gap between my college and the industry level, and I would like to use that particular experience in your company. And the key takeaways from that particular internship experience, I would like to use it in your company and develop. So if you could frame something like this, they would definitely appreciate it. All right, are there any questions? Feel free to connect to me on LinkedIn. Let me okay, yeah. Please connect to me on LinkedIn. If you have any queries or doubts, reach out to me. I'm here to help you anytime. So, yeah, all the very best for your interviews. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Anna, for sharing your experience.
Might be silly or unrelated. Just wanted to know, since you are industry experience, did you use OS concepts? No, like if you go into a C++ or OS development in few companies, like all the companies which we are joining is a software development, right? So I don't think there is pretty much in OS information related questions, or like you won't be working with the OS related issues. If you become a technical support, or if you are building any hardware or operating systems, those kind of roles will definitely help you use your OS concept which you are learning in the college. Yeah, for now I'm not using the OS concept, but then yeah, the logic which I have built while solving OS will definitely help you here as well. That's it. How do we convey if past internship roles differ from the ones which we are applying for? How do we convey if past internship roles differ from the ones which... Yeah, as a fresher you are expect like you are welcomed to have an internship experience immaterial of the role which you do. Definitely that role will be helping them to put you in the in the same domain, or might be shifting you to another domain similar, aligning with those skills. But yeah, that won't decide your interview performance, the previous role. uh, Mention like if the interviewer is more interested in that particular role of your previous internship experience, make sure you talk about it, convey how much ever is required. Make sure, yeah, you want to apply that same enthusiasm, same kind of learning experience over there in this particular role as well. To like before joining the company for your internship company, it was new to you also, right? After joining, you have started learning it. Make sure you convey that exact process here as well. When you join this company, you are interested to develop that particular skill. So always welcome that you are open to learn. So make sure you utilize it. That's it. Yeah. I think, yeah, I have answered all of your questions. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have left anything to ask. Yeah. I'm happy to help. Rita, yeah.
Yeah, okay, Anna. Thank you very much, and I will be winding up the meet then.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye bye.